get wiped out.
Yep. No, you know what? I think that Vince had that inner sanctum, and I think that was John Laurinaitis. And
I wonder what Taker feels about him, since he was like his closest guy.
I think Taker knew some of what was going on, probably, but not all of it. You know what it is? I think he had a lot.
So, guys, I want to let you know it just popped on live once we started talking wrestling. Excellent. There was a glitch in my system.
All right, well, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's good.
All right. Just to let you know, hey guys, it's probably recorded and I can release it. We've been talking a little sports, talking from the cheap seats. Those of you who are tuning in going, what the hell is going on? And we're talking a little live WWE. We first started off with the Vince McMahon controversy and what's going on, everybody, in Facebook. We had a minor glitch that I just noticed 60 minutes in, which is really lousy, and I apologize, fellas.
Hey, man.
It's all right.
It hit the fan sometimes.
It's all right. That's all right. So listen, anyways, back to what we were talking about. So the fact that, the other big thing that just came out was the reason why Shane McMahon left when he left the WWE was because he did not like the way his father was treating employees at the Tower and how he was acting at the Tower. And ultimately that's why he left the WWE. And when he came back, he only ever came back as a performer under a performance contract. So take that for what it's worth.
Shane was gone a long time, man.
So here, let's do a quick recap real quick, just to throw it right at you. We talked Bruins, we talked Celtics, we talked Red Sox, we talked Pats. A quick 60-second rebuttal. Were we surprised back in August that the Bruins are at the spot they were? And we all agreed to a certain extent that the Bruins definitely are well over where they expected to be, other than Vinny Capelli, the Gazoo, and said he thought they'd be in second. Myself, I thought the Bruins would be contending for a playoff spot somewhat, but with what they lost, if you were to tell me the best record in the NHL, I would have told you you're on fucking crack.
They got a lot of young legs on this team, with the veterans or whatever, but you got a lot of guys from Providence, you know what I mean? There's just younger legs there.
Yeah. We talked Celtics.
Petrus was a surprise, and now with Matty Petrus gone, and we talked the goalie thing. Capelli believes that they will stick with the tandem during the playoffs. We told, and Fingers stayed old school and said, hey, let's go with the hot hand. Me, myself, I would love to see the Lord Stanley come back to Boston one more time, whichever way they do it. I'll be behind. And Boston Celtics, we kind of knew they'd be where they're at. I believe they'd be where they're at. Maybe a little, and maybe not as powerful because you put Porzingis and a lot of new pieces into the puzzle. But Fingers, what was that number there that they've been to the Eastern Conference Final? 6 out of the past 8 years?
Yes, sir.
So,
I went on to further say that I don't like Joe Mazzulla. I think that he's just not. And
I said it too. I don't believe the reason that they lose will be because of Joe. I believe the reason if they lose is because Jason Tatum is too nice of a guy.
Yes, sir.
Then we transition
to Patriots.
Football.
We talk
Jason
Patriots.
Jason Rumble's the only one who would trade the third pick.
I would trade the third pick for a more abundance of picks to build the team for the future. I would.
Just want to go down. Jason Rumble, if he came in as the GM, said that he would wait and see how everything plays out when asked, what was your pick? And I will reiterate that both myself and Jimmy Fingers immediately agreed it would be Marvin Harrison Jr. Then we discussed.
And then I agreed and said I would take Marvin Harrison.
Anyways, shut up.
Who would be throwing?
Moving on. We talked about
the Sox team, and we said this, and I said that with the high potency of the Cleveland Brown flavor, I wouldn't be surprised if
You're stealing my thunder.
and
Look at he's stealing my
Flacco-
thunder.
See? No,
Listen,
bullshit. I'm the one
They're
that
down
said
with
it.
the brown.
And
They're down
Flacco
with the brown
and
top.
Brissett come in. It's going
Old
to be a
man
lot
Flacco.
I don't know.
Belichick, no job. And then we all collectively agreed in one fell swoop that the Red Sox just suck. And now we're going to go back to wrestling talk.
Absolutely. So Vince, the whole thing with Vince, man, do they erase him? Can he be erased?
They'll never. Then it's not so much erasing him. They'll never be able to erase Vince. But what they're gonna do is they're gonna give him the quote unquote Hogan WCW treatment. Everyone knows Vince is there. He built it all, blah, 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 blah. But they're just not going to mention him. They're not going to put him on any of their billboards. He'll never be inducted into the Hall of Fame. None of it.
You'll only be able to find him on YouTube, pretty much.
That'll be it. It'll be Vince was once a part of this company, and that's it.
Vince is the man. So they'll never even mention it. They'll say part of it. The man who created the WWE.
They'll just say the person who created it, or the man who created it, or the man whose vision this was. This was the vision of a man's mind. They will not mention Vince in name.
But you know what?
Would you be ever surprised if Paul Triple H?
Vince Sr. was adored by everybody and was a good man.
This has nothing to do with Vince Sr., though.
No, I'm saying that they can reference him because, let's face it, it was his company first.
How was Triple H able to escape this? That's what I want to know.
Good topic, B, because I have a funny feeling. I have a funny feeling, man.
I disagree with you both. I don't think Triple H.
I hope not.
No, I didn't say anything. I said, how can you disagree with me? I just asked, do you think Triple H could be anywhere in this equation? Right. I never said he was involved.
All right. Okay. So don't mind me. I'm flying around and I'm loving it. But no, I don't think Triple H was involved. As I stated earlier, Vince held that inner circle, but I also think that Vince knew there are certain boundaries you don't cross. One of them is my daughter's husband. You don't kind of pull him into the bullshit. Plus, I don't think he, let's be honest, a guy in power like that, he's not going to go around telling his son-in-law, hey, I'm doing that just because of the daughter and all that. I don't know how much Hunter actually saw. I'm sure he heard a lot, but I don't know how much he actually saw or actually physically witnessed himself.
Just remember when at one point when AEW was half decent and it had defeated NXT in the ratings, what Vince did to NXT, he dismantled it.
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
And Triple H was, in the hospital with serious health issue for a year.
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah.
But
Triple H has no love lost for his father-in-law, is what I'm saying.
Right. Same as Shane doesn't, I don't think, has at this time, or Stephanie have a love loss for Vince. I think they love him, but I think they keep him at a very far distance.
Will Stephanie or Shane McMahon ever be back in WWE?
No.
Stephanie, actually, I think Stephanie eventually will take a position with the same company, the ownership company. I don't think Shane will. Shane will, if anything, it'll be as a one-time off match or the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
I think Shane, just with his last name alone, will stay away for now. I believe Shane, just as Triple H, have nothing to do with anything. It's just like the whole stink of the whole administration with now TKO owning it. It's like they're going to make it their own. Rock is obviously a board member. And I'd love to see Rock take on that evil Vince McMahon type character, which he's already doing. He's a star, man. And I think that he knows enough about creative, as we saw last night, to get us back to more riveting storytelling.
I
think you're giving the credit to the wrong person. The Rock has nothing to do with that.
I'll be honest, I've only seen the social media out. I've seen the social media talk, and I haven't seen the whole Peacock thing. I have not seen the WrestleMania pre-show.
The person that led that, created that, thought that up, is the man that they used to call Triple H, not the fucking Rock. No way.
No, what I'm saying is The Rock still has to execute the feeling and generate like what he does. You know what I mean?
So
Oh,
what
agreed.
basically happened? What basically happened in a nutshell?
They had to pivot, Jay, because the fans want Cody. It's
Well,
like
no, no, no,
Daniel
no,
Yep.
no.
Bryan.
Let's change that. Hold on. The fans only pivoted when Punk went down because everybody wanted Cody Roman and then Punk Rollins. When Punk went
Yep.
down, that threw everything out. Nobody would have fucking cried. Nobody would have cried about anything. They were expecting one, but something else happened. The problem is Punk went down. Everything went into a fucking scramble. Then with Brock being removed, it added a double ripple that now, we'll talk. We can get into that now because obviously we're on the road to WrestleMania, and
You gotta.
I have what I would write to be the main events of night 1 and night 2 to
Hold
kind
on,
of
Gazoo.
fix this.
Okay,
Yeah,
Gazoo.
no.
We argued about this last year. Okay, just before WrestleMania, we had a nice round table, and you and I were on opposite sides of the spectrum. You originally said Cody has to go over. I says no,
You're
Roman.
right. You're right.
And then you flipped it.
You're right.
But now we go back. Cody should have went over, man. He should have went over because now you would have Rock Roman with no title on the line. Um,
I think
but
you
not,
still get that either way.
No, no. See, that should have. I not when I went backwards and I said nope, it was the right call, and I was wrong initially. I stand by that because you would not have had Cody would not be where he is today or as big as he is right now had he won that.
yeah, but
Had he
your
no,
rationale for wanting Cody originally is my rationale now. It's like what happens if they really are hell bent on Roman trying to get Hogan's record, which is meaningless because it's third.
right.
Can we go
And
another
not just
year?
that, it's also meaningless when you look at the number of title defenses Hogan had
Yeah.
versus Romans. But the point is I think that, and the writer in me agrees, you don't do a quick jam and blow your load. You want to enjoy it. Like if you're a reader or you're watching something, you don't want one season. You didn't want just one season of Game of Thrones. You wanted 6 seasons or so, and then let's not talk about what happened at the end. Or The Sopranos. You didn't want just one season of The Sopranos. You wanted as many as you could get.
This is crazy because what I argued about for Roman winning was, man, he just got here and gets number 30 in the Royal Rumble, and it's
Yeah.
just like not enough adversity for him to just go ahead and take that title from Roman, who's held it for 3 years at the time. It's funny,
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. Like I'm just opposite on it now. I think
Uh,
what they did
you-
with Cody over the course of the year, it's just like they throw him into the feud with Brock, and there was no reason. It didn't make sense. It was like it would have made sense to wrestle Brock because he had the stipulation after losing to Roman that he couldn't fight for the title anymore. So if he had the title, wrestling Brock for the 3 matches would have made a lot more sense. I just want shit to make sense from here on out. Like,
So here's what I got, right? And what I envision and what I see. To round off what we were just talking about. I think that had I known now what I know now, then I would have said to you, number one, no, Roman needs to win this because here's how this story, or here's how this desire of wanting to see one person grow, how it can expand. And instead of giving you just this much, I'm going to give you this much. It's just going to take that long to get it there, versus just kind of, hey, yeah, let's get him out and win. But talking about now this coming WrestleMania, before maybe we talk about what potentially might be main events or whatever, would you, Jimmy Fingers or Jason Rumble, if you were Triple H, would you have Roman walk out of that arena still champion?
no.
Okay. Rumble?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Now,
I
let me
would.
hear. Yep. All right, Fingers. Why would you not? Why do you think that's bad?
Well, because for me personally, I think it would be solely to chase, Hogan's record. We live in a world where it's just like instant gratification, and by today's standards, this title reign is more like Bruno's. Um, I, Me personally, I'm not a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I respect what he's done. He reminds me of the delusional babyface John Cena type of character, but that's beside the point. He's hot. I can't deny it. I just don't think. I just think that the just look at the bloodline now. It doesn't matter really much like how the Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens don't matter anymore right now. I think if you risk running the story way past its expiration date, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, Rumble. Why would you be in favor of Roman remaining and retaining his championship?
First, I gotta say this. All right. John Cena quite possibly goes down on the Mount Rushmore of greatest all-time characters and wrestlers in WWE history.
Don't deny it. I don't deny it. I don't deny that.
I will repeat. What made me a fan was going 60 minutes with what was considered the greatest wrestler of all time, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Then going back out on Monday Night Raw the next night and going 60 minutes again in a whole different match with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. To say that John Cena is a generic man, I understand. He's Marky Mark, and everybody wanted to be part of the fucking Funky Bunch, man. I'm sorry.
Would Roman Reigns be as big as he is without the fucking heel turn? No.
No, never in a million years.
That's what Roman Reigns
What I'm
was. He was
saying
the modern
is Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns is the modern day. His reign to me, Hulk Hogan. It doesn't. It reminds me of a Bob Backlund. It reminds me of a Bruno Sammartino.
All right, let's get to the chase.
And the reason why I think that I would let Roman walk out is because everybody's expecting him to lose it. And I myself would want to keep on fucking with the fan. I'd rather him lose it when you don't think it's coming.
So, all right, I heard from both of you. I'm gonna give you my brief what I would do as much, and I think about it a lot. As much as I want to see Cody win a title or be successful, I also can appreciate that longevity or the champion who still is yet to be beaten.
Yeah, but
that guy. But hear me out. Because the person who beats Roman Reigns, who is ultimately going to go down as one of the top 5 champions of all time because of this reign, not because of his wrestling talent, because of his reign. It'll always be remembered. The person who should beat Roman Reigns, he's Apollo Creed. Let's be honest here. You need a Rocky Balboa of a wrestler. Somebody in out of the blue match is the person to dethrone the fucking supposed to be the biggest thing in WWE. To take it away, all of it away, Roman Reigns needs to lose to somebody who isn't named Cody Rhodes.
Braun Breaker, baby.
No, not Braun.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you. Hey, listen, I'd rather see the WWE side of Briscoes.
Yes,
the dead end of the both of them, right? Sign them both.
Gazoo, who's there that even fits that bill? LA Knight?
On a night like that, LA Knight could be that guy. Just a random match, and all of a sudden he wins. It can't be. It can't.
You know who it is? A guy that Vince McMahon once loved so much.
Oh, an Austin Theory. It could, yeah.
Yes.
The jump hit, yes, an Austin Theory. something like that. That's what would
Listen,
have to
John
be.
Cena envisioned, from what I heard, John Cena said that Austin Theory reminds him of the early days of John Cena. He just well, it's going to be one day he's going to click with the fans. John Cena believes that Austin Theory is the next him.
Of course, I agree. But
What if the next John Cena moment is Austin Theory getting laughed at by Roman Reigns going and all of a sudden Austin Theory goes over
Like,
and there's John
hold on.
Cena to Kurt Angle moment.
Now, I got a better one for you, right? I got one for you. And this is gonna sound crazy.
Johnny Gargano.
No. The person who owns the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
No.
I'd like to see him happen.
But here's the thing: you defeat Roman doesn't mean you have to keep a belt on Priest. You gotta remember, Roman can have a match be a squash match, and Priest just runs out, covers the guy 1, 2, 3. It's a cheap victory, but that's what it's for. So
what happens to Cody in the meantime? He's
I don't know. Well, that's it. To end my vision as to why it's you still build up. It's just another chapter in the book of Cody Rhodes. He'll persevere. He'll move on, just like his dad. Then Cody needs to turn heel to become a true champion.
Yeah,
I'd be good with that.
All right.
I'd be good with
Cody's got his own version of the Horseman.
I would be okay with that. I would definitely be okay with that. But
although is it not true? Isn't there an agreement that the Horseman faction will never be brought back in the WWE? Wasn't there some agreement made that Vince would retire the Horsemen as a faction? I don't know.
Vince,
you can you can bring back make a new NWO then and have Cena be the leader.
All right. So we got WrestleMania 40, the biggest WrestleMania, right? Here is how if I was writing, here's what I would propose and what I think would still be a viable and buyable WrestleMania.
Let's just talk this.
Let me give it to you, right?
Before we get to WrestleMania, hold on a second. You got this thing that happened at T-Mobile Arena, the slap heard around the world, the Rock turning heel. Okay,
that's not a WrestleMania. We all know about it. You want to talk about it?
Isn't it going to be a tag match at Elimination Chamber right now?
Elimination Chamber is not a tag match. It's what? 2, what is it? 4?
Yeah, but
2, 6, right?
Yeah, but Cody, Rock, Roman, and Seth are not part of it. So
they're not part of it.
You could put them in a tag match there.
I heard that they're taking a tag spot, and I heard that Seth won't be the tag partner. From what I'm hearing right now, it'll be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is not going into an Elimination Chamber.
No, it won't be in the chamber. A tag match.
For what purpose?
Just to go against. Because the Australian government's willing to pay a lot of money for the match.
I don't see
Austin
that happening.
Would be protected. He'd be protected, and Seth's knee's pretty bad. So
you don't want Seth really working. And then this whole MJF stuff. From what I hear, MJF. Right before his title reign, he signed a 3-year extension with AEW. So this whole MJF thing coming to WWE, I
haven't heard that.
That was Mike King, buddy.
Oh, that was Mike King. Yeah, I haven't heard that.
That was you, Fingers.
Here's the thing. As much as I can't stand AEW, it's good that it exists because look at Cody. Cody would not be Cody without AEW. Coming back, and he's bigger than he ever has. Malachi Black, Aleister Black will come back, and he will be bigger than he was. When MJF gets there,
came back, he was bigger than he was. He got a great pop.
It's like now a feeder system, and that's fine. you know me, I was the biggest AEW shill, and Tony Khan is just not capable. He's just not a capable guy. He's got the money, and he can keep that company going. TNA has remained alive.
Why are we talking about fucking Tony Khan? We're supposed to be getting to WrestleMania.
No,
in the
I was
main event.
talking about. We were just talking about. I was just mentioning that, like, would Cody be who he is without AEW? No, I don't think so. He'd be.
No, I agree 1,000%. Honestly, 1,000%. And there are some guys who would never shine in the WWE that have to go to AEW to actually shine.
Yeah.
But
we got to get to Seth's match.
So, all right. So, listen, the whole thing last night, right? My thing is I think it was perfectly written. I think we're gonna see. I still think we're gonna see AJ Lee show up at some point. I do not think we're gonna get Becky and Rhea for WrestleMania.
You watched this last night. Did it bother you that Bianca was there and Bayley wasn't?
Yes. Yeah, but that's a PR move, dude. You know why? We don't need to get into
reality
that.
show.
Yeah. I
that?
think just last night. But we don't have to. I don't want to even get into it. It's not even worth talking about. It was just about Bianca Belair. But I do think, and I think you guys would agree, I think it was a well-written main event build-up that left people's like, wait, what did I just see? People got to remember that Dwayne Johnson is an actor. The Rock is a character, and that character, he did the right thing. He fed into the crowd, accepted turning heel. It was
He leaned into it like nobody's business.
And I think it was well written. And it was funny is both Roman talked about Dusty at the end just before he finished cutting his promo. He mentioned this. He goes, something about your father. So
he says you're irrelevant, just like your father.
Yep. And I also think that backstage access with Triple H, the walk by, perfectly written, perfect, made it feel real. Gave it a little bit of a real feel to it, even though everyone knows it's, that was probably completely scripted.
Vince would have never pivoted. He would have forced it, and it would have been like flat.
Yep.
But Brock leaned into it, and it was like shit, man. He started on Pat McAfee earlier in that day.
Yeah, here's a dumb. And I like seeing Big E and CM Punk both on the show.
Yeah, Did you Big E was? You see how he was moving though? He wasn't moving his neck. That bummed me out to see that. So
answer me this, gentlemen, and I ask you both this. You guys obviously both watched it. What was up with? Why would Seth Rollins be running to Cody's defense prior to talking about what might be the main events? Why Seth Rollins all of a sudden jumping to the aid of his adversary? I get the good guy thing, but he was like overly defending Cody. What do you guys think?
I think without that, Gazoo, Seth would be even more relevant. I think just to put him on that stage, to give him a role in this, just to keep him visually seen and part of the mix, because now it's like we're wondering who's facing Seth now, and he's hurt. We know that, so he's got to preserve his body until WrestleMania. So you got to give him something to keep him visible. And going back to the idea of a potential tag team match, which I don't think he's going to do, but because it's like Roman belittled his title last Monday and called him a fucking consolation prize. So that's, he's got beef with Roman over that. He delegitimized his title.
Yep. And the whole no pop thing and all that stuff. Yeah, I agree. I think it's good heat between the two of them. I don't think it's like aggressively or hatred type of heat between the two, but I think it's real. I think the comments that went back, the jabbering back and forth, I think there was some realism to it in some of those
Seth
words.
has been the workhorse of that company for the last year, and he's overlooked as the secondary title. That's why I wish they brought Big Gold back opposed to just creating a new title, because they clearly took the Universal title and just made it the WWE title. Because if you remember, after Bray died, Roman took that blue belt that he won from him, which was the Universal title, and retired it and gave it to JoJo. and then made the belt gold. So that's the WWE title. And I mean, it was always, even Big Gold was considered secondary, but they should have just brought that title back because it just, I don't know. It is secondary.
I agree. Rumble, your opinion as to the thing with Seth Rollins. What were your thoughts on the end of that with him in that segment?
See, it really, I don't like the fact that Seth and Cody are friends, to be quite honest with you. But I think to put it in story-wise, Seth wants Cody to face him so bad that maybe if he comes to his defense, it makes him want to solidify more to be a man and say, face me. I mean, some subliminal way.
You can't have
I don't
Cody.
know.
You can't have Cody
Agreement,
beat Seth a fourth time. They fought 3 times. Cody's hurt. You can't have Cody beat him again.
I understand that. Listen, I agree.
Are you? So
I agree.
I agree. I agree 1,000% too. However, let me lead this into what I really think. Let's talk about this first one. Hear me out. Ready? Night 1. Let me finish before we talk. Night 1 main event. Dual main event. In a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, it would be Seth versus Cody versus Drew. The other main event would be The Rock versus Roman night 1. Now, for the first time ever in WrestleMania history, the championships will be defended each night. On night 2, whoever the winner was will have, and this is where it's Roman Cody. And then the winner of the match, of the world title match, will be facing Gunther for the title. Seth will win the match by pinning Drew. This way, Cody doesn't have to take the pin. And then at night 2, Seth versus Gunther, Gunther wins.
I agree with everything you said, except for I would go night 1. I'd put Sammy and Drew versus Seth. Other than that, I agree with you.
Why Sammy though?
Just to keep him in the spotlight, man, because he's fading.
No, I get it, but
I'll be honest with you. I think Sami Zayn, after all the pop he got when he was with the Bloodline and all that, I just felt I could see that because I'd like to just see Cody get whoever, like,
let me ask you this question, right?
Seth has got to go because he's hurt.
Right?
He's hurt. He's got to lose because he's hurt.
Hear me out, right? So, would you change that night 1 main event to this? Would you do? And I've said this in the past. It did work at one WrestleMania, a fatal 4-way with Seth, Cody, Drew, and Sammy. Drew has got to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Right. Seth needs to win that match. He should be pinning either Sammy or Drew, and then he loses night 2 against Gunther.
I think you got to get Seth out of there, bro.
No. But you gotta let him go out as a guy who defended the title on the second night, because Gunther could be the guy who puts him out.
I think.
Why can't you get rid of?
But you should be able to call an audible if, like, Seth is like, the fucking knee won't hold up. They can call an audible there.
I think Seth will be fine. I think that's why he's in a fatal 4-way. In a fatal 4-way, Seth can get many rest spots and not have to do a lot to win the match. You know what I'm saying? And this, he saves his way to Gunther. And Gunther is a ground and pound. He's not a big aerial, tactics kind of guy. He's
get there. I agree with how you get there. Gunther for sure. Night 2, no doubt.
Roman, Cody wins. Roman wins night 1. Cody wins his match night 2. Cody, you do. I personally feel Roman wins, but I can almost guess that they're gonna give it to Cody.
So what do you do with Rock then? Do you do Rock Roman night 2?
No, Rock is night. He's only there one night. He's not wrestling both nights. I think Rock comes out, makes an appearance on night 2, does it, and maybe distracts Roman if they are going to put Cody over or something like that. Like you mentioned that, right? I think you were saying, right? What were you, before we went live, what were we talking about? We were talking about this.
Can't remember.
I think I think if Rock is going to be a part of night 2, he has to distract Roman, go back out as a face, stay. Cody goes over one. Blah blah blah. Personally, I think if I had it my way, Roman would go over. But and then
we were having on to something in the discussion. I was like, oh, we should hold this. We should hold this.
I think the Rock and Roman. I think Roman should pin him cleanly 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Roman's got to go over. It's like maybe that's why you do Rock Roman night 1, so that way.
That's what I said. Rock Roman night 1, Cody Roman night 2.
Yeah.
This way, the fans still get Seth, Roman, Cody, and then the wrestler, like Seth still gets Cody. You know what I mean? Cody still gets Roman. Rock still gets Roman.
Yeah.
And it's the first time in the history of sports entertainment that the World Heavyweight Champion is defended not once but twice on each separate night of WrestleMania and the WWE Championship.
You know what's crazy, man? We're sitting there talking about 2 main events, and we're just totally forgetting about the undercards, man. Because
I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be. I think it's Jimmy versus Jay. I think it's
Jade versus Bianca, maybe.
I think maybe Jade versus Bianca. I think
main event Jey Uso beat Gunther for the Intercontinental title.
No, Gunther's gonna wrestle Seth for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, so the IC title's got to come off Gunther then.
Not necessarily,
but it could. But I would like to see.
No, what I think they need to do with it is he wins both titles and then he has to relinquish the Intercontinental title because he's only going to defend the world title.
Tournament after, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, so he can go as the only undefeated.
Jey Uso goes over Gunther at Elimination Chamber.
Okay. I think
it could happen. We're looking at
Logan Paul versus LA Knight.
LA Knight
for the US title. I think we'll probably see some gimmick tag team thing for the tag team titles.
Who's going to be like the guest like outside person this year?
It's in Philly.
Who will be
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Stallone.
Jason Kelsey.
I hope not. Stallone is definitely making an appearance, but if Stallone's making an appearance, it's Stallone in Thunderlips. Hulk Hogan is making an appearance.
Good call. Good call.
I would love to see him come out with the thing. Thunderlips is here in the flesh, baby. I'd love to see it. But I think we're gonna have a surprise Rhea versus somebody at Mania. I once again AJ Lee name dropped by Michael Cole.
So why was Becky out there with her then?
It's just a build-up. I think it's just a build-up, and then Becky loses because Becky needs this. You know what I mean?
Oh, are they fighting at Elimination Chamber?
Becky's part of the Elimination Chamber.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So
Bayley, how about Bayley though, man? Bayley was dead in the water to me, man, but the fans organically went to her. I love to see that. Yes. She deserves it.
Is Sasha Banks re-signing with WWE or is she signing with AEW?
She's now big business in AEW.
She shows up at TD Garden March 13th at Boston.
Yep. As big business Money Mercedes or whatever her name is. Yep.
Mercedes Moné.
Yep.
Okay. Man, has she got a big head.
All right, okay. Real quickly, give me a oddball person you think, or team, or anybody that's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Team?
Wow.
Anything.
Bray Wyatt headlines. Bray Wyatt headlines.
No, we know that, but somebody you don't think of.
Demolition.
Took mine.
I was going to say Action Smash Demolition.
They need to get in there. Yeah, they need to go in.
There's someone else that's not in there that should be there that you'd think that
is. Tatanka, baby.
How's about Goldust?
Oh yeah, he deserves that, bro.
Absolutely deserves it. Deserves it.
He's got to be one of the cleanest in-ring wrestlers. You know what I mean? Like his style, he's just flawless in there,
He's
man.
still with AEW.
Yep. But
So wasn't fucking Billy Gunn when he got inducted.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. Tony Khan
he's
would be an
another one,
asshole
man.
to stand in the way of that. But he's a big baby, so who knows?
Do we have a rain or weather issue with either one of the two nights at WrestleMania?
You could. It's always a possibility.
I think we're gonna have a snow issue.
I do too.
Didn't it happen before? I mean, they had a canopy over the ring clearly, but
it happened when Samoa Joe was doing ring announcing. It was soaking wet.
It was the rain. It was the rain. I think the worst thing they could do is having these WrestleManias in a cold, place.
All right,
Stupid.
I gotta. This just went into my head, and it's something I had thought about. The reason why I would like to see Roman win is because who is the one person who should beat Roman, if not the random oddball person? Maybe this person technically could be a random oddball.
Jacob Fatu.
No. The returning Seth Rollins after he comes back.
Yeah.
Remember, Seth really is probably the one person who I think should really beat Roman for his title.
History is
but
rich.
it has to be a one-off. Like, yeah, I'm wrestling Roman tonight for the title, not like a build-up.
Well, do you remember 10 years ago when it was the three-way? Rollins came in and stomped Roman and won his first title when it was Brock and Roman, when Roman won that Royal Rumble that Daniel Bryan was supposed to win, or something like that. So the history is rich.
Yes.
That it is.
Anything else, boys? Anything you want to talk wrestling-wise?
No, I mean, other than the fact that, the whole Vince thing is screwy. We're adding up to WrestleMania. CM Punk comes back to the WWE. I'd have to say this. CM Punk's going to be one of the most unluckiest guys I've ever
fucking seen. Yeah, I agree, man.
I had someone had a thread in Gorilla. We were fantasy booking, and at the time, there was always a speculation or a desire to see Punk versus Austin. And I know that I wrote this somewhere. It was just like that. I would like to see it too, but if you go back to 2 years ago, how well Austin did, that was because KO carried him. Punk would never be able to carry him because he's fragile now. I think that he's changed his ways. You see him working down in NXT. I think that he got a real bad deal in AEW from those fucking spoiled fucking brats and fucking pushed him out and fucking he could have been there, man. They made it a terrible environment for him because they were jealous of his name, his money, because let's face it, the Bucks are better talented in the ring, but they'll never be a bigger name than Punk, whether you like him or dislike him. A lot of jealousy, and Tony Khan couldn't lead, and he comes back to WWE, and he's a changed man. I'm sure Triple H loves that he's down there working with NXT and has got a different attitude. And not to mention, he let that Cody slip through his fingers.
All right, so let me give you the CM Punk return route. You ready for this one? And this ties into Roman Reigns winning at WrestleMania. At SummerSlam, the returning Seth Rollins gets a one-off match against Roman Reigns and beats him for the world for his title.
I got a question.
Hold on, let me finish. Let me just run and then hold that question. And then definitely question. And then you have CM Punk beat Drew McIntyre because that's the first person he said he's going after. He works his program with Drew up until November, December. Then at SummerSlam, not SummerSlam, Royal Rumble next year, CM Punk will go over. And at WrestleMania 41, it will be CM Punk, the challenger, versus Seth Rollins, the WWE champion, because Cody will eventually win, or Cody and Gunther will do their thing, and Gunther will be the champion at the time. So that would be my road for CM Punk's return at WrestleMania 41. It's him and Rollins, the match we want to see, just a year later.
Jason, as an in-ring talent yourself, okay, Punk pretty much tore the same tricep he did in AEW that kept him out for a year, and he tore it again. How does that affect him going forward in that area for that type of injury?
Well, I think
Seems more
it's
trickier than a knee.
anytime you tear anything, obviously, you become more susceptible to having that injury reoccur. That's number one. You're talking now, you're upwards of the late 40s, getting near 50. You know, it looked like Punk got in way better shape to come back to the WWE than he did AEW. I'll tell you that.
He did. Yeah, he did.
So Gazoo, everything that you said, I'm all for. If Punk can hold up.
Do I think that maybe CM Punk might have dabbled in some performance-enhancing drugs in order to get into the shape he got into, and that would have quite possibly could have made his injury occur? Plus, the fact is wrestling's a different beast, man. Wrestling and being that acrobatic, being that elasticity of your muscles, being able to recuperate and work like that. Listen, he took 20 years off, man. I'm sorry, not 20, but he took 10 years off of being in the ring.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you work
7 years. 7 years off.
7 years, whatever it may be.
Right.
He's still 7 years is a long time to be out of a wrestling ring, especially when you were already tickling your late 30s.
Yep, I agree. Okay.
When he first came back and won his first title, people forget this injury is like when he stage dived into the crowd. He was so excited and fucking broke his.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
That would be my road for Punk. I think that's the only that makes sense. They got to get the title on.
But so here's another one. Does Drew McIntyre have a contract renewal with the WWE when CM Punk does come back?
I think he does. Absolutely, he does.
You don't think
Drew's not going anywhere. He ain't going to make the money he makes in WWE at AEW. It ain't happening.
I would be afraid to, because Drew just looks massive to me. I'd be afraid to break Punk. But I know he's a professional.
Drew McIntyre is huge right now. What a big
the funny
boy.
thing is, a lot of people think that like this pure hatred for Punk. I know there's dislike by people, but professionally, they're all happy he's there and they're all willing to do good business with the guy.
Punk has made amends with everybody backstage, dude. Trust me.
He wouldn't be becoming a face of the WWE if he didn't make amends with at least the main guy, Triple H. And I think he did, yeah.
So my last one thing is, when does this senior Money in the Bank finally, when does this, it just seems like this has been the longest Money in the Bank on ice in recent memory.
I think he cashes it in and loses. I think he's just lost too much steam, my opinion. I'd like to see him go back to Punishment Martinez.
Let's see him go back to NXT.
Yeah. Look at what's his name? Corbin. You know, I mean, it's NXT's better than it was before Vince destroyed it. HBK's done a great job, trying to build it back up.
You think Priest is that horrible that he needs to go back to NXT?
He's gotten stagnant.
He's cold.
He's still good in the ring. He's cold. Like the R-Truth thing would have been better if he didn't attack R-Truth. If he let it go on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then eventually attacked R-Truth.
So wouldn't that be the writer's fault? Wouldn't that be the writer's fault for killing his steam and momentum?
It is, but that he's still the character. That sucks.
Could he recoup that steam? Could he recoup that momentum that he once had?
Well, here's the issue. You don't know if Finn Balor's going to have a contract. He still hasn't re-upped.
He's cold too, man.
Yeah, he's gotten cold. The Judgment Day is really about Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio.
Yes.
Yeah. And even Dominic's gotten stale.
Yeah.
The only heat he has is when he goes like this with the mic and he's like, and then that's it. Other than that, he's stale. Unfortunately, the kid got stuck with JD, the supersized midget.
So you gotta maybe maybe turn Priest face, maybe.
You get the Judgment Day. It's either you do one of two things. You make the Judgment Day a darker, evil, or friggin' stupid thing that they originally was supposed to be,
Like
and you
when
get
Edge had him, yeah.
when Edge had him, and you get rid of Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley needs to go face. She needs to be the Stone Cold Steve Austin of women wrestling because she has the ability to be the fuck you face. You know what I mean? So she needs to go off on her own. Dominic needs to. They need to keep evolving Dominic. He's got good heat. They need to put him in a program with somebody strong, somebody who can carry him in a very strong program. I don't know who that might be.
He was supposed to fight Brock.
I know he was, but that wouldn't have gone over well. I don't think. We just lost fingers.
It's all right. He'll get back on.
He'll get back on. I think. I mean, Finn. I think Finn needs to go back face, and I think Damian Priest needs to become a more just fuck you type of heel.
Yep.
If he was to stay, but he's got to that briefcase has got to go. The whole Money in the Bank on ice, it's garbage.
So, wouldn't it be funny? And I know this is just like I'm just throwing shit up against the wall and seeing if it sticks. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if Cody Rhodes could talk his way into having a match with Damian Priest, finagle him out of having the Money in the Bank, and Cody Rhodes going to WrestleMania to ultimately have his main event against, say, if it had to have been Seth, then to cash in the Money in the Bank and capture both titles in a weekend?
You don't do that again. You don't put the title on both people. You don't do it. I don't like that. It did it. Listen, we just got rid of that, and everyone's happy the way it is. You don't put the two titles on one person again. You don't. You got in with the Netflix deal and Raw going to Netflix. I'm sure in the deal they are gonna want one of the prime faces of the WWE. And let's be honest, other than what happened to him the other night when the fucking Rock kind of dwarfed, and I don't mean like size-wise, kind of dwarfed on the camera. Roman Reigns is in part of what it was at the end of that backstage segment. That was all the Rock and Triple H. Roman was an afterthought. Other than that, you got Roman and you have Cody. I love you, Seth, but I think Seth is the number 3 guy as far as faces of the WWE. And I think that you got to put Roman and Cody on 2 separate shows.
Do you think that part of the reason, I mean, I know it's over, his song is over, just like Cody's song is over, but do you remember the Architect Shield,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Shield. Yeah, Echo, Hemo. Yeah, it was a great song, and then it became Roman's song.
No, but what I'm saying is his aesthetic. It's just he's constantly being compared to Becky, as a joke with the Elton John look and shit. And I don't know, man. I'm a black tights type of guy, more simple, more badass.
I think you're seeing when Rollins reminds me of a younger Chris Jericho. He continually evolves the character. That's why Jericho has been around for so long. He keeps evolving. And I think when Rollins, he's going to go away for a couple of months after Mania, come back around the end of July and be ready for SummerSlam. And I think it'll be as a different character. I think eventually you're going to see, what you're going to see is Cody is going to move to SmackDown. Roman is moving to Monday Night Raw for when the Netflix deal happens.
What does Monday Night Raw do when they theoretically have no deal to go anywhere and do nothing for 4 months because their deal will be done?
Right now where it's going on the Peacock Network. Watch. It'll go on the Peacock Network. Watch.
Do you think there's any chance they would go down back to 2 hours?
Nope. Not Monday Night Raw.
Do you think the content would be edgier on Netflix?
I think it'll be edgier after 10 o'clock. It will be on Netflix. They still appeal to a major audience, not just an adult audience. They still
You'll never see the Attitude Era again.
But what you saw
The
last
Bills are
night
showing.
was
I'll
the
tell you
edge that
this:
I'm
the Bills
talking
are
about.
showing way more skin than they did 2 years ago.
Where it's at now, I think is where you're gonna see it, where it's gonna peak. Is like what you saw last night. That's as edgy as it gets.
But that's
Who
good
would have
enough for
said
me.
that? You would have told me
Me
you would
too.
have had a bull rope match. They
What's
had a
that?
bull rope match on the
And it
main
was
event. A bull rope.
yeah, it was good. And I think you're getting a little bit more edgy. You're gonna see a little bit more older, like matches coming back. You might see a Texas Tornado match or a Texas. Like we saw the Texas Bull Rope. We'll see some of those other old school matches. Maybe we see a Night of the Skywalkers.
Nice.
Yeah,
Gazoo, did you obviously you watched last night? The funniest thing that Punk said as they were going off the air, he's like, "Since I've been gone, I haven't seen so many man buns in my life."
yes, yeah, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
And he's right.
Yep.
I hate the man bun. I hate seeing a man bun.
So that's my road to Mania. I don't think Cody
I
should
got
walk out of Mania as a champion.
one off the beat WWE question.
Yep.
Chris Jericho, the allegations. He's back at AEW. Do you believe any of the allegations that he told this Sky Blue girl that give him sexual favors for a advancement in AEW?
Yeah.
He's an alcoholic. If he did so, I bet you he was drunk when he said it. But as far
No,
as the backlash from it, like he's been back on TV and it's been quiet.
I
But yeah,
think that I think there was something there, and I think there was a little going on, and I think there were promises made for that, and when it didn't come to fruition, and maybe somebody thought he was too big for his britches, she opened her mouth.
I haven't seen much of her though. I mean, I still
No,
watch the
Nope.
product.
I think there was something there. I just don't know how. I think it was consensual, is what it was. So
Yeah.
that's
Sure.
why, yeah. That's what I think it happened. It was dirty what happened, but I think it was consensual what happened.
Until he
Consensual.
didn't get but she was getting a pretty good little push there.
So
The last time I watched it, it was like talk about like bad creative. It's like,
it's
okay,
terrible.
I'm gonna be all right, Mr. Mark Briscoe over here. You know that FTI has history with the Briscoes, right? So
Yep.
it's like, hey, House of Black, you need a third partner. Mark Briscoe's like, hey, I'm right here. They choose Danny Garcia. I'm like, this makes no sense.
It is no sense. There are people there you don't see for months on end.
Lance Archer is a good talent.
Yeah.
And they linked him up with Jake and the Righteous. I was like, okay, that's a good
The
looking group right
difference,
there.
the difference of what between AEW and what TNA used to be, especially when it was early in its earlier years,
Loved
is at
early
least
TNA.
it is
Loved it.
at least it had direction in its
Big
storyline,
time.
and it was enjoyable to watch.
You had
This
Vince
is not
Russo
even
and Jim
enjoyable,
Cornette running it together.
and this is not enjoyable.
It's not. And the
I,
talent is
hey,
still there. The talent is
I,
still there.
I watched a good match the other night on AEW. I like the feud between Swerve Strickland and
Top of the
Hangman
game
Adam.
right now. Swerve is on top of his game right now. He's a
Swerve Strickland is that's one of the guys that I hate to say it, the WWE dropped the ball on that guy right there.
well. I thought Tony Khan was too for a long time.
Swerve Strickland is where it's at.
Yeah,
He's got some he's got major talent,
good look.
charisma, and he can work.
He's organically
So
turning babyface too. Like
yep, and so can't what's his name? Hangman Adam Page, another guy that the WWE should have their eye on.
the kid's worked hard. I got to give it to him. Joe's going to be transitional, obviously. They're going to put that title right on Swerve, as he deserves. Swerve deserves.
What you guys think about the heel turn of what's his name there? The dude from NXT turned on Trick Williams the other night.
Oh, Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
Much needed. Much
Yeah.
needed. But see, my theory is everybody should be a heel.
Yep, he's a much better heel, anyways. Mello don't miss.
JJ,
Much better.
you were a better heel. Like I loved you as a heel.
Yeah, I listen, I played it. If they got behind me, I went with it. If they didn't get behind me, it was even better.
I loved you. I I said I had one of your heel promos not too long ago. I sent to somebody.
Did
It
it
was
go something like this? I'm the boldest, I'm the baddest, and when it's all said and done, simply the best. And what you gonna do when Rumble runs wild on you?
That's the best Rumble impression I've ever heard in my life.
I only know because I was in the ring 1,000 times listening to it.
It's great.
Yeah,
Great.
And you can take that to the bank.
the bank. That's right, because money talks and people walk.
That's right. You can take that to the bank, brother.
I'll
Are you
tell
guys
what,
excited for
Because
Mania?
that check won't bounce.
We should
Am
we
I
should
excited?
convene a little bit. We should convene a lot more sooner than a year, huh?
Maybe if everyone's got the night, maybe we convene after the pay-per-view. Just talk about the pay-per-view.
Well, Perth's
good with
gonna
that.
be 6 o'clock in the morning, so we can definitely talk
do
about
it that later that night or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
what time is the Perth one on?
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
What?
If you want to watch it
Australia.
live,
It's an
you want to watch
Australia.
it live.
Who the fuck is watching that?
Mike
That's
King.
gonna be the worst. Imagine if they did that with WrestleMania.
He's probably going, oh man, you guys didn't even invite me.
We will before, when Rock, like they were talking, oh, we'll do Rock and Roman at Perth. I was like, no, the fuck you won't. No,
that ain't happening. If it happened anywhere, it would happen at Saudi because they pay for it.
Right. But it would still be prime time. You'd get it at a prime time hour. You don't want to get spoilers or watch a replay when you're going to hear what's going to happen because everybody knows through social media.
It's already bumming me out now to know that I'm watching that thing on replay.
All of us are. All of
That's
us are.
retarded. Well, been fun talking, boys. I've had a busy basketball season. We'll get together a lot sooner. We got with Mania coming up. We'll have to talk elimination. We'll have to get together after Elimination Chamber and talk into the road to WrestleMania and really open it up with more of a round table. And
Cheap Seats was good if you didn't miss the first hour of it, for crying out loud.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah. Hey,
we had some good talk there.
We did. At least to ourselves, we had a good talk.
We did, boys.
Yes, sir.
And we still had a good talk, an hour and 2 minutes.
Here we go.
I'll send the Venmo to the email you sent.
All right.
All right, boys. For those of you who are out there, we apologize you didn't get the first 40 or so minutes, but that first 40 or so minutes, we wrapped that up for you in 8.5. So with that being said, I am Rumble.
I am the Gazoo.
I am 2 for the pink, 2 for the stink. Jimmy Fingers, baby.
And what you gonna do, because we talk sports better than you.